casting of the kid characters was paramount in the first season. And it was a real challenge to find great kid performers who we felt were going to be able to evolve over a period of time. We had two broadcasters, CBC and Disney Channel, who were involved in casting, so there were decisions by committees. And it took a lot of wherewithal to really be able to cherry pick the cast. It started principally with Sarah Polley because we knew that we needed a really, really strong lead. Sarah, of course, had become somewhat of an international star at the time because she had appeared in Terry Gilliam's Baron Munchausen with John Neville, and that was a huge production that was shot in Rome. Sarah spent probably 6 months of her life shooting that film, and she was known as a young actress at that point. She'd appeared for me as a little Cockney orphan kid called Jodie in a movie that I did with Disney called Lantern Hill. And I could tell by that point that Sarah was really up to it. She had the chops to be the lead in a series.
I ain't riff-raff, you know. I know I ain't like you neither. You're people. But I ain't riff-raff. My folks was respectable, and I work hard to pay my own way.
I think that if you're an actress, you get to be different people. More adventures you get to go through. And when you're acting, it's almost like you are there. So it's a lot more interesting to be several different characters at once.
We weren't really devising a role that was going to rely on one individual performer. We really wanted her to be stellar, but to fit in as part of an ensemble. And Sarah certainly illustrated that. It was clear after the first screen test that we did with Sarah that we could use her as a building block to start to build a young cast around.
I know I am not a bit pretty.
Yes, you are. You're interesting looking.
That's not the same as pretty. My only good points are my hair and eyes and feet. And I think it's mean that one of them has to be covered up most of the time. When I grow up, I'll have to be covered up all the time. It's totally unfair.
The next person that was on my hit list of actors that I thought had great potential was Zachary Bennett. He had been involved in shooting a film called Looking for Miracles for me, again for Disney.
For me to have to keep on sticking up for my little brother all the time.
It's not my fault they're always picking on me.
Well, get a group of your friends so they can't pick on you.
I haven't got any friends.
And he had such a disarming honesty and charm about him, a naivete, and yet a kind of a spunkiness that we almost wrote the role of Felix around him. So he was the next kid that was enlisted to form part of the cast.
I just jump into Felix. It's just so fun to play Felix. My mom and I just said, we really want this role, and so what you gotta do is try to feel like Felix feels and turn into Felix. Put Zachary to the side until you're done this audition. Make sure you're Felix. And so that's what I did.
An old house with its windows all bare always looks so lonely to me.
To me, it looks like something dead with its eyes picked out.
Felix, what a dreadful thing to say.
Maybe we should check the barn. I gotta warn Jimmy.
Gemma Zamproni was a complete fluke. We had another girl lined up and cast to be in that part. She'd been screen tested to death. Disney desperately wanted to have her in the show, but all of a sudden she was unavailable. So we were strapped, and we had to go out and desperately find a young actress. Gemma auditioned for us, and people were a little uncertain about her at first because she was a complete unknown. They'd never seen her in anything before. But her audition was strong, and we really thought that she had the potential to play a really bossy kid. She accepted the part. We began to write the part for her.
I've decided that we will be doing a thorough cleaning of the house from top to bottom as an anniversary gift for Mother and Father.
But what about my fishing plans? Peter's coming to pick me up in 15 minutes.
Well, I will allow you 15 minutes of playtime before supper. I expect that cancels any fishing plans?
Well, actually, when the auditions were going on, I was in Winnipeg filming a TV movie called The Challengers. And I didn't really know much about it. All I knew was that my agent was calling my father in Winnipeg and saying, look, there's this role that Gemma's up for and that they like her for Felicity. And a man came with a camera into my hotel room and put a costume on me and told me to do these scenes, and then they told me that they wanted me for the part. And it was quite funny because I really didn't know what I was doing. I was just so tired and I was like, what's happening to me? And I didn't know anybody. I hadn't met any of the other actors or the director or even Kevin. I hadn't met Kevin yet. So I didn't really know what was going on.
My favorite episode of season 1, I think it has to be the proof of the pudding, because it's the first opportunity that the ensemble kid cast really had a chance to let loose and to upstage the adult performers. It was a set that was almost no adults, where the kids really got to go crazy.
No grown-ups for miles. For 2 whole days.
Attention, all of you. I am the grown-up around here now, and you will be getting your orders from me.
My favorite episode is Proof of the Pudding. It is funny. That's one of the biggest parts I have, like one of the biggest episodes I have. It's funny. You'll like that one.
He has to have more. Felix is for your own good.
Felix? Felix, stop wriggling!
It's a very funny script. And I love the fact that I got to smack a cherry pie in Gemma's face.
I remember just looking at all of this goo, this red goo, and then all of a sudden seeing it coming towards my face and blech, all over the place. It was really funny that after they said cut, I was like, ugh, get it off of me, ugh! And I could feel the cherry stuck to my face, and oh, it was really gross.
I cut her hair and things, and it was very fun. It was great.
We did tests on a whole raft of other kids.
I don't see why you're making such a fuss over a hired boy.
But somehow those first 3 kids, Sarah, Zach, and Gemma, really clicked as an ensemble. It was very apparent once we put them in the show that they were the leads, and we were going to write the show around them.